Welcome back to beautiful Clinton Raceway in Clinton, Ontario, right in the middle of Huron County, just off the shores of beautiful Lake Huron, Ontario. Today it's Kin Pace Day. It's also Kids Day at the Raceway. Always a family-friendly affair here at Clinton, and today certainly a great example of that. We've got the bouncy castles located out back just as you enter into Clinton Raceway today. Hey, we've got some clowns, we've got some face painters, got some great food as well. Cotton candy machine located out there. A whole lot of fun and a wonderful atmosphere, as always, here at Clinton Raceway for Kin Pace Day 2022. Hey, who doesn't love cotton candy and great horse racing as well? Hi again, everybody. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey. So happy to be with you here this afternoon. Excited for today's four-pack. We've got beautiful weather to go along with it. And Mark, you've been a busy guy. You last night hopped on a plane. You were jet-setting off to the Meadowlands. Tell us what was going on there.
Well, I had a chance to travel with local driver Bob McClure, who had a big evening last night at the Meadowlands. He had 5 drives in total. And what took him there, of course, for a bid and trade, as the former Hambletonian champion was in action. He finished 4th. I thought he raced really well. He's just been tearing it up in the preferreds and free-for-all at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Looks like he's really rounding into top form for this campaign. As well, Frozen Hanover was a winner from the Luke Blais barn, prepping for the Meadowlands Pace. So it was a great night of racing. Some records: Ontario Sire Stake, Star, Bulldog, Hanover, an incredible mile, Greg. So an awesome night of racing. And from one end to the other, you come back to exactly what I always call this, the grassroots of racing. This is the heart of harness racing right here at Clinton.
You were looking at superstars last night. A lot of them get their starts on days like today with events like the Kin Pace, Grassroots for trotters as well. So we're going to see Bob McClure in action as part of both of those events here this afternoon. Before we get started, we want to congratulate a contest winner from this past week. All week long, we asked you to like and share our Facebook event for today's show. And congratulations going out to the winner, Sandy Henry, a local lady from here in Clinton. In fact, she works up in the test barn here. So I know she'll be very happy to take home this wonderful Clinton prize package. And for those tuning in today, don't worry, you will also have a chance to win the very same package. All you have to do today is leave us a comment during the show on any one of our platforms. Leave us a question, comment, just can be where you're tuning in from, anything else, let us know. And for every comment entered today on the show, you'll be entered for your chance to win that Clinton prize pack. All right, we've got a third member of our broadcast team that we want to welcome now. He's got the famous red barn just in behind him there on the first turn. Always great to welcome in Rob Reed Jr. And Rob, what can we look forward to today on the card?
Well, I'm always excited to be here at Clinton Raceway, Greg. A great, card of racing. Of course, the Kin Pace final is the feature. We've got some good undercard races as well for you, including a division of the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old colt trotters. We know those races can be a little bit unpredictable at times, can sometimes offer a hefty payout as well. So I'm excited to be here. I'm going to get an opportunity to speak to some of the participants throughout the afternoon, guys that will be driving or having one in as a trainer in the final of the Kin Pace.
All right, we get a look there at the lineup. One of the intriguing events, something new this year, Rob, is the Catch Driver Claiming Series Final. Our good friend and colleague Ryan Clements sponsoring the race this year. Tell us a little bit about that and what Catch Driver is for those who may not know.
Well, I'm a big fan of Catch Driver, and while I'm not really, the best player in the game. My driving skills are a lot worse than they would be on the real racetrack. But yeah, I'm not one of the better players, but I do love playing Catch Driver. It's an incredible game. You should download it and play it. It puts you in the driver's seat in a harness race. And listen, my heart's always been with the claimers. That's where I started off in the game when I bought my first horse when I was 16, claimed one, and I love these claiming series. So awesome of Catch Driver and Ryan Clements stepping up to sponsor that race, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
All right, Rob, have a great afternoon. He's doing double duty today, working on the in-house show and joining us for COSA-TV. We'll catch up with him later on this afternoon. Mark, we'll take our first commercial break, and then we'll be back to set things up for the first of our 4-pack on this beautiful afternoon from Clinton Raceway.
The horses are now in the hands of the starter. It's post time. This field is now in motion, and here they come. They're off, and pacing. Tax Seeker leads fastest of all along the inside. Flanking that one is Action Reporter. He will look for the 2-hole tuck and now gets its landing in front of She's a Big Sign. Ain't She Pretty Museum Tour. They fall into program order as they head down the backside for the first time. Tax Seeker on the engine here for Tyler Moore. 2 lengths to the good. Action Reporter is second best. A gap of 3 back to She's a Big Sign. Ain't She Pretty Museum Tour can see them all. They roll by the Red Barn turn after a quarter in 30 seconds flat. Tax Seeker, the one to catch here. Uptight in second, that is Action Reporter, followed by She's a Big Sign. Ain't She Pretty Museum Tour. No change in position as they come rolling by the grandstand for the first time. It's still Tax Seeker and Tyler Moore showing the way. Nose to helmet second, that is Action Reporter. A gap of 2 back to She's a Big Sign after a half in 101-1. A leisurely 31-1 second panel for Tax Seeker and Tyler Moore. Racing in 4th position, that is Ain't She Pretty. The trailer is still Museum Tour. 5/8 of a mile to go, and the pace quickens here. Tax Seeker, the one to catch. Right there in second position is Action Reporter. She's a Big Sign now, begins to make up some ground in third. Nothing yet from Ain't She Pretty and Museum Tour. Once around the track and halfway back in 1:31-1. A 30-second third quarter. It's down to 2 of them now. Tax Seeker on the front, out of the pocket. Action Reporter is going to make a push as they head down the lane. It's Tax Seeker to the inside. On the outside, Action Reporter trying to grind away, but not going to get there. This one belongs to Tax Seeker.
All right, a little bonus action here today. Race number 6, an overnight event. Tax Seeker Tyler Moore, State Treasurer Gelding, going to get done for local connections here. Kathy McClure. She has her horse stable just up on the hill here. George McClure, husband, does the training. Wonderful family. And Tyler Moore, the driver's seat for the win. Maiden breaking score in career start number 7. So we'll get another look at that one as the field turns for home. And again, that will set the stage nicely for our 4-pack, which we're going to have starting next in race number 7, the Winback Farm Pace. That one coming up in a moment. Nice slow-mo look at them. And Mark, as we always see on nice days like today, especially when it's a big event, big crowd on hand.
Great crowd. And you see everybody huddled at the fence there and everybody getting their spot right along the rail. Beautiful day. You know, I always tell people, Clinton, a fantastic venue for racing. One of the hottest places in Ontario, though. But today's a little bit of a breeze. It's very comfortable. This is one of the more, I guess you could say, comfortable sunny Sunday afternoons here in Clinton. Perfect conditions. The track, as you can see, is in great shape as well.
And wouldn't you know it, Mark, the community pool next door, which is a staple and such a big part of this community, not going to be open this summer. We just heard about that. Apparently, they need to do some repairs on that, so it's going to be out of commission this summer, hopefully back open next year. It's just wonderful to see people out there enjoying that on days like today. And from that vantage point, you can actually watch the horse racing, too. It's a really cool location. The entire Clinton Raceway facility, for that matter. So there's a look at Dustin McClure leading the horse back, caretaker today, and Tyler Moore in the driver's seat. So this one, a total family affair for Team McClure, and yeah, synonymous here with Clinton Raceway over the years.
Absolutely, and they'll be thrilled to get a winner here on this Sunday afternoon on the Kinpace undercard. And for Tax Seeker, you mentioned it's a maiden breaking score, and did it really well in hand there. You could see no stress at all coming into the lane. Tyler Moore was just sitting chilly, and Tax Seeker is able to fend off a bit of a bid there from the rookie action reporter who finished in second. That runner-up, a 2-year-old gelding, just making his second career start, and he did his best to make a bit of a bid in the stretch there. Got to the wheel, but got turned aside by the 3-year-old Tax Seeker.
All right, a big hello to everybody tuning in today. We are starting to check online and getting lots of people chiming in so far. We've got our friends from Illinois watching, our friends from Alberta, Prince Edward Island, and some from even overseas today. So big welcome to everybody tuning in today. Again, leave us a comment. Let us know where you are watching from, and you will be entered for a chance to win that wonderful Clinton Raceway swag prize package. We've got a trivia question to get us started here this afternoon as well. And if you think you know the answer to this, you can chime in the comment section as well. Today's trivia question surrounding one of the drivers competing today in the Kinpace. Gentleman that leads the current driver standings here at Clinton Raceway. All right, so yeah, you should be able to get it if you do your homework a little bit here. But which of the drivers competing in the Kinpace today leads the current Clinton Raceway driver standings? Again, if you think you know the answer, please let us know. So we've got 4 races coming up. We had some bonus coverage there. We've got another overnight coming up here in race number 7. It is the Winback Farm Pace. Looking ahead, we've got that Driver Series final coming up here as well, the catch driver final, I should say. We've got OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotters. And before we get to the Kinpace, the main event, speaking of those trotters, we've seen 2 divisions so far and already some impressive efforts and probably some colts to watch going forward.
Yeah, definitely. 2 divisions already in the books, like you mentioned, and this being the first OSS event of the season. Interesting coming to Clinton, how some of these horses are going to handle the tight turns and the half-mile oval. For the most part, though, they've looked real good, and we saw a lot of action in that most recent division. But the one thing I think we've noticed over the last few years, Greg, is the amount of horses that start in the grassroots, and before long, they're up to the gold. And I think maybe people are a little modest in their expectations with their youngsters at times, and they don't want to maybe put them in over their head. But we've seen some good efforts already today. Would not be surprised to see in round 2 of the OSS if we maybe see some of those horses jump up to the gold. So keep your eye. Could be a future star that we will be able to catch in race number 8, the 3rd and final grassroots division here today.
One colt we were watching with interest was Hasty Bid. A good story on Paige Austin recently. This will be the first horse she is sending out as a trainer, and she owns this one as well. Partner James McDonald in the driver's seat. And you know what? You know, speaking of adventurous first trips behind the gate, that one had it, but performed tremendously under the conditions.
Exactly that, and I was talking to James yesterday about what he was hoping today. I don't imagine the way the trip worked out is exactly what he was imagining. He drew the coveted rail starting spot, and I think you said he probably went 30 or 40 extra feet. He got carried 3-4 wide going to 3/4, but this horse just kept on going, and I think they'll be very happy, the connections with that effort. Ended up finishing 3rd with the victory going to Timonier in that division. Ben Bayerjan trainee, giving Brett McDonald a chance to do the driving here, and Brett McDonald we'll see throughout the afternoon. Talk about stepping up at the right time, picking up a live one there and getting to the winner's circle. Maybe an opportunity he can stick with that youngster for the powerful Bayerjan barn. We'll wait and see.
Always a fun time of year with 2-year-olds, and of course we've got 3-year-old fillies in the Kinpace a little bit later. Right now I believe we've got our first interview of the day with one of the participants. Gentleman Tony Beaton's had quite a couple of years here in Ontario, and he talks a little bit about that and his starter today in that Kinpace final.
Robert Reed Jr. here with Tony Beaton, who's going to have number 4 Lions Princess in the final of the Kin Pace here today at Clinton. But before we get to that, Tony, I got to ask you, this time of year, it's an exciting time of year for fans of the sport and handicappers like myself. So many youngsters coming out, and you've got a barn full of them. Is it a stressful time of year for you, or is it really fulfilling to finally see them out there doing their work on the racetrack?
You know, it's obviously a little bit of stress there, but it's day to day. The horses will tell us what they're going to do, and we don't push them too hard. We just try to have them fit and healthy, sound, and hopefully have lots of racing left.
And you've got a couple of wins this past week at Mohawk Park, and a good second for Lions Better Day and an OSS Gold. Any ones coming up that we haven't seen yet that we should take note of?
There's not really a lot of other ones. We've pretty well got them all qualified now. We got a few more there yesterday. They probably got to go back again. Then there's one more I just got from the East Coast. My sister owns it, and we're hopeful we can have a little luck for her.
All right, and I got to ask you about Line Drive Hanover, right? Such an impressive winner in the Charles Juravinski Memorial Cup, and is really, acclimated well to racing against some really tough horses. How's he doing, and what's next for him?
Line Drive's been great. He was a very good second there at the Meadowlands last week, which is kind of hard to believe. He paced the last quarter in 25 and lose ground, but we did. But he was good second, and he's got the graduate final this coming Saturday at the Meadowlands. So hopefully a good draw, good post, and lots of racing luck.
All right, and getting to today's action, you've got Lions Princess, number 4, in the final of the Kin Pace. And that one went a real difficult trip in the final of the City of London from post 7. Is it tough to rebound, for a young filly to rebound after a race like that?
Yeah, it is. Like, we gave her a little time there, get her straightened away, and it was a tough trip, that City of London. But like, the 4 holds a little better here. She kind of has good gate speed, so we're hoping to get in the mix there. And obviously, there's a couple other tough ones in there, but we'll be very happy with a good chunk of it.
And a solid 3rd place finish last week in the elimination. Any preferred trip today for her?
I'd like to get away somewhere half decent and maybe get lucky late and shake loose and see if we can pick up the pieces.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Good luck today in the Kin Pace, and good luck with Line Drive and the Graduate and all your babies, of course. Tony Beaton, everyone. Back to you guys.
Nice crowd gathering trackside as we get ready for Kin Pace 2022. One of 4 that we've got coming up after the break.
Exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
Time 57-1. It's still Sassafras Girl in front. On the outside, Stonebridge Quest and Trevor Henry moving up. He's within a nose now. Now he pulls in front. OK Heartbeat on the outside, gapped off a little bit. But now Trevor Henry in control of this one past the 3/4. Stonebridge Quest now pulling away on the field. It's OK Heartbeat and Sassafras Girl battling for second, 123. And now he's got a 10-length lead. Stonebridge Quest, down the stretch she comes. She's going to be an easy winner in the Kin Pace final. It's Stonebridge Quest and Trevor Henry to win. For second, OK Heavenly. Third goes to Dublin Rose, and OK Heartbeat finishes 4th.
Nice trip back to 2015. Stonebridge Quest and Gord Dugan had the race call that year of the Kin Pace, and one of the sparkling winning efforts from a 3-year-old filly. Who's it going to be this year? We'll find out in about an hour or so. But first of all, we're going to get a look at the field for the upcoming 7th race. This is the Winback Farm Pace. It's an overnight event and start of that $2,000 guaranteed pool late pick 4 today. Some hard-hitting veterans in here, including the one, Miramichi David, Ryan Darash, one of the young reinsmen in the province, is having a pretty good season. Mike Stamp, the trainer, batting .382.
Getting a look there at Doc Finelli. James McDonald will do the driving for trainer John Kennedy. This one's got 2 wins on the season, and both were in blowout fashion, trying to get back into the win column here today.
Lauren House has had a very good year, both training and driving. One of the capable reinsmen in this part of the province. He's got Kevin Dan Fraudsters here. Despite the 0-for-14 record this season, I think a contender. He's 8-1, so he's getting a level of respect in this spot, and a long overdue victory would be welcome news for his connections this afternoon.
And there is a look at number 4, Harper's Hat Trick. Travis Henry and this 4-year-old, they teamed up and had plenty of success at Western Fair over the winter months leading into the spring. They'll try to get their 3rd win of the season here today.
Trainer Bud Sinclair, we'll see that one later today, or him later today, in the Kin Pace final with Ribbon Ridge, but he's got Quinn's Frisky Whiskey from Post 5 in this spot. Another one looking for the first win of the season.
37 career wins for Brock's Fortune. We'll see if today can be 38. Here's one of 2 12-year-olds in this field, Taylor Fitz and Brett McDonald teaming up.
And Eternal Ruler will complete the field, Trevor Henry. He's already visited the winner's circle today. This 12-year-old gelding, 21-time career winner, hasn't been able to get his picture taken, though, this season. He's 0-for-18 coming in. And post 7, an obstacle there, but at 14-1 with Trevor Henry in the driver's seat, you're best advised not to totally overlook, let's put it that way, especially if you're playing that pick 4 sequence. Pretty wide open group here to kick it off. Want to take a moment and welcome in some of our viewers today, Mark, and as always, we've got faithful watchers from all over North America and, for that matter, overseas. Today we want to say hi to Nancy Hubbard and Mark Anderson, both from tuning in from Downers Grove, Illinois today. Our good buddy J.D. Varnell on board once again. Michelle Hogan-Casson as well. Got Bob Roach from Moncton, New Brunswick tuning in today. And again, for everybody who chimes in, you have a chance to win this beautiful Clinton Raceway prize package. So let us know where you're tuning in from, or if you've got a question you'd like to pass along to us as well. JD talking about those incredible final quarters we're seeing at the Meadowlands, and they were evident again last night. And it's one thing to pace a fast final quarter, but when you're doing it in world record time, it's ultra impressive.
Well, it's obviously going to be eye-popping, and I know some people might be a little bit skeptical, but I mean, the performances we've been watching the last few weeks, there are just some real talented older performers right now, and Bulldog Hanover is leading that charge, Greg, and I think we all knew the kind of talent that he was here last season, even coming out of his 2-year-old year into his 3-year-old year. We got a great chance to watch him in Ontario throughout the year, but now seeing him taking it to another level the way he is, I'm not sure we realize just how special he might be. You think about last year, he really didn't turn in very many poor starts. Really, the North America Cup probably didn't go exactly how they would have liked, but that being said, outside of that performance, they've probably never been disappointed by what they've seen from Bulldog Hanover.
You know what else intrigued me last night, Mark, when you looked at the results at the end of the night and you saw the name Hanover so prominent again. Here we are in 2022, and I don't know if I've ever seen another entity or organization dominate in their industry the way Hanover has done for decades and still going strong. Last night you had Rocky Road Hanover, Bulldog Hanover, Allywag Hanover, a Buckabat Hanover. I mean, just incredible. The list goes on.
It definitely does. And if you go back a few weeks to the Pepsi North America Cup, I believe there was 3 horses bred by Hanover Shoe Farms in that $1 million contest. And over the history of that race, with nearly now 40 years of history, there's been, I believe now, around 35 Hanover-bred horses that have raced in the Pepsi North America Cup. But in the last 3-4 years, there's been, I believe now, double digits, just 10 right there. So it just shows not just longevity, but just continuing to go as strong as ever.
Yeah, truly the gold standard when it comes to standard-bred racing nurseries. And Bulldog Hanover, it's going to be fun to watch him along the road this season. under the care of Noel Daly when south of the border, and Dexter Dunn picking up the drive. And, I liked what I heard from both of them following the race last night. I think just feeling very fortunate that Jack Darling was sending the horse to them and entrusting them with his care, and they've done a wonderful job so far. In fact, 2 sparkling winning efforts there. Look forward to seeing him back here north of the border, though, for events like the Canadian Pacing Derby a little bit later on. Of course, the Breeders' Crown, we're excited about that. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It's summertime. We love to enjoy the summer, the good weather, all the good stakes racing, but it is hard not to look ahead and get excited about that Breeders' Crown returning here in October.
You're right about that, and obviously already in the planning stages are we getting ready for the Breeders' Crown. And I don't want to leave everybody on a bit of a cliffhanger here, but a bit of a teaser. There might be an added special event potentially on the agenda for Breeders' Crown week, still maybe in some of the early stages. But that being said, really looking at how we can build up to those 2 nights on the Friday and Saturday and make it almost a week-long affair. Really excited to have the Breeders' Crown coming back here to Ontario and at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Boy,
so a little bit of a spoiler there.
That is very, very exciting. Maybe people can chime in, speculate what would
you like to see? I love hearing ideas.
There you go. Yeah. What would you like to see? I know one thing I'm very excited about on a personal level, managing the New London Classic yearling sale this year, and we've changed the date. We've got it scheduled right in between our Ontario Sire Stakes Super Finals and the Breeders' Crown eliminations that week, and we're hopeful that will be an ideal time slot right in between 2 very exciting racing nights at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So hope people can check it out. Should be a very exciting time of year for us in Ontario. But, hey, that's way down the road. We've got lots to get excited about this afternoon. I want to welcome some other viewers from far afield today. Brian Gibb tuning in. Get this, Mark, watching in his car on the way home from watching racing in Tregaron. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Tregaron or Tregaron in Wales in the UK. He's heading back home to Scotland, and Callum Murdoch is watching from Scotland today. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the coverage. And we are coming up to the start of race 7, so this will be another appetizer as we get set for our signature events coming up a little bit later. Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots still to come, and the Kin Pace Final. An overnight event here on the 7th. The man who's calling the action today is Tim O'Connor. We send it up to him now with the call.
These are now in the hands of the starter. It's post time. This field is now in motion, and here they come. And away they go. Doc Finelli leaves fastest of all along the inside. Harper's hat trick up to battle that one for the early lead. Those 2 duke it out around the far turn. Also advancing early, that is Quinn's Frisky Whiskey, looking for the 3-hole tuck. Now gets that in front of Miramichi David. Kevin Dan Fraudsters is 5th best. Then we're back to Brock's Fortune. Eternal Ruler can see them all. It is Harper's hat trick taking him to the 1/4-mile marker and around the Red Barn turn. They get there at 28 2. Doc Finelli sits in the pocket 2nd. Racing in 3rd, that is Quinn's Frisky Whiskey. Miramichi David is 4th. Kevin Dan Fraudsters gets some right line urging now, heads to the outside from 5th. The trailers Brock's Fortune and Eternal Ruler. 6 in and only 1 out as they head to the half. Harper's hat trick, the one to catch. They roll by the half-mile station with Harper's hat trick in control. They get there in 59 3. Doc Vanelli drafts in the pocket. 3rd along the inside is Quinn's Frisky Whiskey. Kevin Dan's Fraudsters trying to advance, not doing so yet as Quinn's Frisky Whiskey takes a peek out. Off stride in the backfield went Miramichi David. Brock's Fortune and Eternal Ruler pick up a little bit of ground, but it's all Harper's hat trick from here. 128 4 to the 3/4. Doc Finelli is right there in 2nd. Those 2 with a little separation now as they round the far turn and head for home. Harper's hat trick to the inside. Here comes Doc Finelli up and at it on the outside. Harper's hat trick, Doc Finelli. Who's it gonna be? Oh, baby! I hope the camera is working. That was tight.
Wow, what a finish there. James McDonald and Travis Henry with Doc Finelli and Harper's hat trick. They hit the wire together. And the roar of the crowd, Mark, for an overnight race was pretty spectacular, pretty noticeable.
Racing for $1, racing for $1,000, racing for $100,000. It doesn't matter. You can't beat a great photo finish, and that's exactly what we had here in race number 7 as Doc Finelli's trying to reach up to pick off Harper's hat trick. We'll see if Harper's hat trick held on very tight at the line. Of course, every track's got a little bit of a different angle from that main camera, but how about this? A great battle to the wire, and this is as great a view as you're going to get.
All right, and there it is, and tell you what, I cannot separate them from that angle, even on the slow-mo. A 58-second back half. Tim O'Connor says it was number 2, Doc Finelli, in the very final stride. So James McDonald and Travis Henry, who knows? Maybe we'll see them in a ding-dong battle later in that Kin Pace final. Both will have drives in that event. But it's James getting the upper hand here in race number 7 to kick us off this afternoon. There it is, one more time. Photo finish in the 7th. We'll take another commercial break and be back to set up race number 8 when we come back.
You know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
9-second second quarter, and the Joy Luck Club. She looks strong up front here as they go to 3/4, and she kicks away by 2 in the blink of an eye. Stonebridge Sunday on to take over second. Love's Angel backpedaling on the inside. There's Rose Lily coming on from far back. Stellenbosch trying to get up into it late. The Joy Luck Club accelerating on the front end, and she's opened up for Stonebridge Sunday second. Rose Lily third, 3/4 and 1:27. 8 left to go, and they're going to have to do some pacing if they're going to catch the Joy Luck Club. She's clear by 4, and she's got it on cruise control 8. It's all the Joy Luck Club. Dominant winner in the Kin Pace final. Stonebridge Sunday, big trip to hold second. Finishing third, Rose Lily, and 4th went to Stellenbosch. James McDonald coming back into the winner's enclosure here, and Son Griffin on hand today to welcome him. Look at that. Great job. We've got the face painters as mentioned. And I think I saw on social media, Jenna said that Griffin graduated from kindergarten the other day, and he got an award for like the, what was it again? Kindness. The Kindness Award. How cool is that?
He's a nice kid and gets his picture taken today. I think he's probably having more fun over at the kids zone, like we said, but a family affair, as mentioned here at Clinton this afternoon.
And we like to joke around. I think he got the kindness more from Jenna than James. We'll say that anyway. James would probably agree, actually. But, yeah, wonderful to see. Wonderful to see the kids out, getting to see Dad win races today, getting to enjoy, the experience of Kids Day here at the Raceway. That is truly what it's all about. Travis Henry had his son Kingston out here earlier. He was out with the microphone in the winner circle looking to take our jobs. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful day. Always a tremendous atmosphere here at Clinton Raceway. And, of course, great horse racing, though, on track. We saw a good example of that there in race number 7. And now we're going to turn our attention to young trotters here in the 8th. Our first look today live at the Grassroots for 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters. We've got a full field of 8 here. Some of the top names in the Ontario Sire Stakes will be competing. The likes of John Bax, Carl Jamieson, Bob McIntosh, Luke Blade, just to name a few. So really the who's who, and we're going to get a chance to look at our future stars. And really at this stage of the game, Mark, it's all about who's going to behave first and foremost, and then we'll see the talent rise to the top.
Exactly that, and you go through the baby races for this group, not one of these 8 starters actually won a baby race, but all of them keeping things together for the most part and finishing up well. The one that stands out to me is Busting with Pride, the Bob McIntosh trainee, who goes from post position number 4, Trevor Henry doing the driving, trotted a mile in 59 and 2, was in a qualifier that went 157 flat. That was probably the quickest 2-year-old trot qualifier I can remember in the month of June in several years. It was a real impressive performance, and here's one that gets beat 12 lengths, but he still breaks 2 minutes. So I think this is one that we want to keep our eye on here today. Looks like he's got that ability, and those McIntosh horses know when it's time to put it all on the line.
Team Backs didn't get the best of the post draw here, post 6 and 7, so those are the 2 outside starting spots here at Clinton. But we saw Team Backs win earlier with a first-timer who was 3rd in his baby race, and again, went okay for time, but it's just a qualifier. Definitely stepped up and was an impressive winner earlier today. His name, Derbyshire, with James McDonald driving. They'll send out Watch a Pro here from post 6. Matt Bax driving that one, and James has Resolve to win. He'll be easy to pick out. A chestnut son of Resolve. There he is on camera. Good looker and nice and well behaved in the paddock. That's the kind of body language you like to see from these youngsters.
No doubt about that. And those resolves, John Bax is a big fan. Obviously, duly resolved, was a standout last year and continues to have success now in his 3-year-old campaign. And I was not surprised when the baby races rolled around to see so many resolves coming out of that Bax barn.
Some great shots from our paddock location here this afternoon. So we're just moments away from meeting the field for race number 8. Grassroots division for 2-year-old trotters. Trevor Henry will be on number 4, Busting with Pride. We'll see Trevor later today in the Kin Pace as well. Earlier this afternoon, our Rob Reed Jr. caught up with him for his thoughts.
Robert Reed Jr. here with Trevor Henry, no stranger to Clinton Raceway and winning the Kin Pace final. 3 victories, right, for you, Trevor, in this race. But before we get to that, a big night at the office for you last evening at Mohawk Park. 3 victories culminated by a huge effort by Warri Vital, 48-1. Is it safe to say the big horse is back?
Yeah, he'd had 4 races into him, and it takes a while to get a horse like that in shape. But last night he was ready.
Yeah, so a big effort from Warri Vital last night. And, moving our attention to the youngsters today in the OSS Grassroots, you're driving Busting with Pride in race 6, which is an OSS Grassroots 2-year-old trotting colts. You were aboard this one in both of his qualifiers for Bob McIntosh. Any thoughts on how he might handle the half-mile surface today?
I should be fine. Bob trains on a half-mile track, so I don't think it'll bother him too much.
All right, and Sexy Playmate in the Kin Pace final today. You drove that one to an upset victory in the final of the City of London. Today, though, working from the trailing post. Decent effort from her last time. What are you expecting from her today?
I suspect she'll be a little better. She hadn't raced since London. She's out 3 or 4 weeks, so she wouldn't be that tight. Last week was a good race for her, and she's got a good spot. She's following a good horse. I think she has a shot.
All right, and in that, trailing post, I know you're a guy that doesn't give up too many positions off the gate. Is that the plan tonight? Just follow the one out from the rail and try to get away as best you can?
Yeah, we're going to try to stick with them as far as we can. It's a good horse, but hopefully she's good gated and that on the half, so I should be able to stay close.
All right, Trevor Henry, everyone. 3-time winner of the Kin Pace, going to try to make it 4 today aboard Sexy Playmate. Back to you guys.
Never discount Trevor Henry, that is for sure. Knows his way around this track, and in this part of the province, this is where he cut his teeth, and these small tracks love having him come back for their big days.
No doubt about that, and Hanover Raceway, in fact, is going to be honoring Trevor Henry. Many driving titles he claimed over the years at Hanover, and on July 23rd, it'll be Trevor Henry Day at Hanover Raceway, also with an appearance from Desperate Man, so that'll be a fun afternoon at Hanover, and Trevor loves going back to those spots, like you said, spent many years dominating these ovals, and like we said, when he comes back, you always have to give him consideration, doesn't matter who he's driving.
Hanover, very much like here in Clinton, it's a wonderful on-track experience, a community oval. Can't wait to be there for our next live broadcast on COSA-TV. Let's meet the field here, though, for the 8th, our Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Division. Number 1, Tuscan Prince, $45,000 Lexington yearling purchase. Luke Blay training will be making his second start, 7th after a break, first time out at Mohawk Park.
Next up will be number 2, Floyd the Freak. This is a homebred for Ashley and Ed Hensley, so it's a family affair as Floyd the Freak, the Archangel colt, makes his debut.
Speaking of Hanover Raceway, 4th place finisher in the 2021 Dream of Glory was won by the name of Muscle Jack. And this one's sibling starts here from post 3. His name, Roman Gallery. Desiree Jones trains for Gino Toscani. Tyler Borth in the driver's seat.
We were talking about Trevor Henry, and there's a look at him behind Busting with Pride, a gelded son of Resolve, a homebred for Bob McIntosh, sharing ownership with Dave Boyle.
Number 5, All Out Victor, gelded son of the former Quebec champion Val Torres, and this one a brother to a good-looking youngster named the Black Ace, who's made a pretty good impression in just 2 career starts so far.
The first of 2 from the John Bax barn. Matt Bax will handle the driving duties behind Watch a Pro, a Cadabra colt, a couple of qualifiers, made a miscue in his first but bounced back the second time out, finished his mile off nicely with a 58-2 back half.
And the number 8 in the field, the final one that we'll get a look at in a moment, is Fantastic MVP. Jody Jamieson teaming up with Father Carl, the Hall of Famer. Carl co-owns with Brian Paquette of Quebec. And Fantastic MVP. Looks like we maybe have a driver change there that we weren't aware of. That looks like Anthony Hahn. Anthony Hahn, I believe. So, yeah, there we go. We're catching that change on the fly. It looks like Anthony Hahn picks up a nice catch drive here in an OSS Grassroots division. This one, $26,000 purchase out of the Ontario Select sale. Just the second full from the mare in here. But lots of talent from what we've seen in the morning so far. Again, we don't get too caught up in times with the youngsters. They're just looking to get that valuable experience. And now it's race time. Now is when they'll be looking to lower that time. And you know, when you've got these veteran connections like Jamieson, McIntosh, Bax, you know that they're going to be coming here today ready to play. And John Bax has already shown that with a winner earlier on the card.
Exactly that, and John Bax looks like he is just loaded with 2-year-old trotters this year. Lots of talent in his barn, but like you said, when these horses come here, they're ready to go. And the one thing I always like to keep in mind is maybe where do they do their training, and what kind of ovals are these horses going around on a day-to-day basis. Clinton's a little different than qualifying at Woodbine Mohawk Park. You go to Woodbine Mohawk Park, and one thing I always catches my eyes, how many of those horses in their first baby race are looking at the big screen and looking at all the sights and sounds. It's a whole different experience. Now you come here to Clinton and you've got over 100 people hanging over the rail. So that's a new experience as well. And obviously the half-mile track, the tighter turns. So it's a little unpredictable, no doubt about it. But that being said, I think we just continue to see the evolution of the standardbred. How many of these horses come here and just aren't phased?
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of visual stimulus here. You've got houses that line the backstretch. You've got baseball diamonds here in the infield. You've got our tent and the big Jumbotron video board here in the infield, not that far off of the racetrack. So everything's in very close proximity. And there you get a look at it there. You've got the community pool on the first turn. So there's a lot for these young horses to take in. And I know earlier today in watching Derbyshire, we talked about that one, for example, who won earlier for John Bax and driver James McDonald. This one on Post Parade was shying away a little bit from some of that. and scoring out was doing the same thing. And even leaving the gate, James had to be just a little bit careful. But once he got into the race, his focus changed, and the horse looked very impressive in winning. And so that's a really valuable learning experience for that particular youngster, and it'll be the same case scenario here. Having said that, you've got to try and look at it from a wagering perspective here. Even money on a horse from post 1. It's risky, especially considering the horse broke last time on the bigger oval.
Yeah, Tuscan Prince, you got the rail, you got the connection to determination, Blay and McClure. I think for a lot of people, that's probably what sticks out, right? It's those notable connections and the success they typically have, and that's going to draw some money, of course, as well with the post position. But I'd be a little nervous as well. I think right now you're getting 2-1 on Busting with Pride. That's not bad. I thought that horse would be the favorite, and those Bob McIntosh horses, very professional. They come, they know exactly what they're going to do. You bring up a good point, though, about some of the drivers out here with these young trotters and just the way they have to maneuver around the track. And I was just impressed with the division before we came on the air with how many of them just blasted out of there, and they were not afraid to send them into that first turn. And you brought up a good point before we came on air today, Greg, about the fact that you just can't baby them. And the horses, they probably feel that at times when the driver maybe doesn't have that confidence, or at least they're trying to be, just doing their best to keep them together. So I was not surprised by how much action we saw in that second division, and I'm expecting much of the same here in the third split.
And that conversation stemmed from watching Trevor Henry and his approach with a couple of the youngsters. And he jumps up and he drives them with confidence, and it seems to translate for the most part. Another one to have a look at here, 7-2 on number 2, Floyd the Freak. You've got the husband-wife team of Ed and Ashley Hensley sending this one out. They bred the Archangel Colt. They campaigned the mare Asuela, $300,000 winner in her career, and so far so good in terms of a couple of baby races for that one. So they're lining up field of 8 2-year-old Colt and gelding trotters in the OSS Grassroots. Again, let's go upstairs and catch up with track announcer Tim O'Connor.
Race number 8. It's post time. Third division of 2-year-old trotters. This field is in motion, and here they come. They're off and trotting. Jumping early was Watch a Pro. Leaving well from the outside is Resolve to Win. Resolve to Win, and James McDonald showing lots of resolve early, crossing over and opening up 2 or 3 lengths. Racing in second position, that is Floyd the Freak. Off stride in the backfield went Fantastic MVP as Floyd the Freak pops the pocket early and trots on up to take command for Ed Hensley. Floyd the Freak will lead them by the quarter-mile station. They reach that mark in 30-2. In second, Resolve to Win. 2 more lengths back to Roman Gallery. Tuscan Prince sees it from 4th. In the inside, All Out Victor is 5th. Trotting in 6th is Busting with Pride. In the backfield after the early miscues, Fantastic MVP and Watch a Pro. They roll by the grandstand for the first time. We've got 3 in and 3 out as they head to the half. Floyd the Freak and Ed Hensley the one to catch. Here comes Tuscan Prince up and at it now for Bob McClure. Pocket sitting in third now is Resolve to Win. They reach that half in 1:03.1. 32 seconds and change in that second panel for Floyd the Freak. Tuscan Prince applies pressure on the outside. Racing in third, that is Resolve to Win. Second over is All Out Victor. 3 wide perhaps from the backfield. Goes Busting with Pride. Still there in 6th position is Roman Gallery. The pace quickens here as Floyd the Freak will not relinquish that lead. They're once around the track and they're halfway back in 1:33.3. 30-2, third panel. Floyd the Freak to the inside. Putting pressure on the outside is still Tuscan Prince. Right there, Resolve to Win. Down the stretch they come. Floyd the Freak on the outside, Tuscan Prince, but Floyd the Freak holds on here. Floyd the Freak home in race number 8. Tuscan Prince was second best. Resolve to Win finished third.
An impressive effort from Floyd the Freak in his first career start, the son of Archangel. Very professional, I would say, in how he was handled. He left, he yielded, came back around, and then had lots of fight in the stretch when it counted.
Flashy because of the pink that you'll see through the equipment from the Ashley Hensley barn, but this horse is just a pro, I think, right off the hop. First start and takes care of business. And when called upon to pick things up in that back half, he did strongly and is able to turn aside the challenge of Tuscan Prince. I really liked the last qualifier for Floyd the Freak, where each quarter was a little bit quicker than the one before and ends up coming home in 28-3. Again, you look at the line and see fourth, finishes third. Maybe didn't go by a whole lot, but each quarter got a little quicker. It was a good second effort, and here today, he was ready to go.
And there's a look at him coming back. Good-looking son of Archangel. And as mentioned, Team Hensley campaigned the mare, Asuela. She, a daughter of ABC Garland, and was the richest winner in her family. She is a sister to another one that we've seen a lot of in Ontario, a horse named Euro Classic, a $260,000 winner. So a lot of potential in the family. And this mating has produced a winner at first asking, Floyd the Freak. And you know that Ashley's going to be very, very happy about this. I think it's extra rewarding when you talk to horse people. You hear it time and time again, to raise an offspring of a horse that you raced that was a favorite of yours and get them all the way to the races and then make this trip to the winner's circle to get that photo taken. That's what it's all about.
You're exactly right about that. You think about all those days probably through the winter and just hoping, is this one going to get to the races? Does get there and delivers, and big smiles across the board there in the winner's circle from Floyd the Freak, who is a son of Archangel, taking the third and final Grassroots division. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Now I'll be curious to see how many of these horses that perform well today in the first Grassroots maybe consider taking a shot at the gold when we get to leg number 2.
Yeah, because I think you have to be impressed with even the second and third place finishers today. The runner-up, Tuscan Prince, minded his manners, out a long way, very game, and then resolved to win. You had to be really impressed with that snap move off the gate from post 7 and you know, handled like a little sports car out there. Perfect.
Well, you think about the fact that, you know, we talk so much about not being afraid, just going right into that first turn, and we got a great example of that is the way James McDonald was able to get resolved to win out of there from post 7 right to the front. The one thing I was a little intrigued about to see how things were going to play out today in these divisions was we had a trailer, I believe, in all 3 divisions, and you wonder if there's some bad behaviors on the gate. Does that maybe trigger some incidents? But today, I think things went pretty smooth, considering there was probably a time 2-year-old trotters on a half-mile oval for their debut sire stake. Could have been a little messy, that's for sure. Not the case today. Some real good-looking efforts, and excited what the future has in store.
All right, let's take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the catch driver claiming series final from Clinton Raceway.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Terra Hills Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to terrahills.com.
Seconds flat. Freya Sealster is second. Significance is third. Looks to tip out. Also underway from the backfield. Here comes Dream Fair Zenfire with a rush. Now fourth and giving chase. The leader So Much More. Here comes Significance out of third, up and at it. The race is on now. Significance looking to roll right on by, perhaps. So Much More. Significance is underway here. 3/4, 127 and 2. We have a new leader, Significance, as they turn for home. So Much More back in second. Dream Fair Zenfire with a late rush. Significance says sayonara. It's Doug McNair's Significance in race number 10. So Much More was second, tight for show.
The Kin Base, a tough race to win. The great So Much More was unable to do it, but we know what she's done since then for sure. Will we have another future So Much More in the field today? We'll find out soon. There are the prices from back in race 8. And Floyd the Freak in the first career start, $8.70. Tuscan Prince, the favorite, was second. And Longshot Resolve to win. Rounding out your top 3. Some nice pari-mutuel returns there. Want to say hello to a couple of viewers on our YouTube feed. We've got Arlene McIntyre, and then we've got Patrick Hill tuning in from Ireland. I don't even know. What time would it be in Ireland right now?
You're going to ask me and put me on the spot,
Sure.
or you're going to see my geography skills? 9:10 p.m. I do believe.
Oh,
in
wow.
Ireland right now.
Wow.
So right in
You
the
just
prime
knew that
ti-
off the top of
right
your
off
head.
the top of my head, right in that prime time window,
didn't
some
Google
Sunday
that.
night viewing.
We didn't Google
No
that
chance.
while we were on break.
Just no.
I
Ask me
promise.
anywhere else, and I'll be ready. Just give me 30 seconds.
All right, let's take a quick look at the field page for the upcoming 9th race. We are one race away from the Kin Pace, the main event today. This is the Catch Driver Claiming Series Final. Again, sponsored by the Catch Driver game, a virtual game that was developed and has become quite popular, developed by Ryan Clements, who's well known in the industry, of course. The Clements family who campaigned the great Cam Fella, his father Dan, top catch driver who's returned to active driving duty recently, and Ryan, a pretty prominent young horse owner in the area as well. But one of his big claims to fame is this Catch Driver game that's been quite popular, and he's sponsoring this upcoming Claiming Series Final. Good-looking field of 8. That's how they're going to line up there. But looking ahead to the Kin Pace later today, Warrawee Expat was a good runner-up in her elimination from a week ago. And this one sent out by a young conditioner named Gabby Sasso. We find out a bit more about her and her charge, Warrawee Expat, in this feature.
Hi, I'm Gabby Sasso. I'm training Warrawee Expat in the final of the Kin Pace. So both of my parents are teachers. I have no horse background other than my parents bought me a pony when I was 5 years old. When I was in university, I needed a job. So I started working for Bob McIntosh in the mornings, and I was going to the University of Windsor in the afternoons and night. We have currently 7 in training. We have a couple of broodmares and a couple of yearlings. We have 3 racehorses and 4 2-year-olds. We don't really have a typical type of horse because this is our second year with our own stable. She's never disappointed us one time. She has 12 lifetime starts. She's hit the board 11 out of those 12 starts. I've never ever been concerned sending her behind the gate. She's the nicest horse you ever could ask to have in your barn. She's great to be around. She's great to train. She's great to jog. I would say she's exactly what she was last year. She's just a great little horse to have.
3/4 and 130 and 1. Midway on the final turns, coming down to a sprint, and Warrawee Expat is giving Velvet Stinger everything she can handle here. Velvet Stinger's been headed. She's got to try and counter on the outside. Warrawee Expat, Velvet Stinger and Expat. Velvet Stinger on the inside battles back. Velvet Stinger to win. Warrawee Expat, very good second.
In the elimination, we were happy with the results. It wasn't the trip that we were anticipating getting. The race didn't play out how we thought. We thought that she raced tough. Like I said before, she's never ever disappointed us. Brett said she was a little mad with how fast the race was going. She didn't like where she was sitting. She kind of likes to be in the hunt. I think that we'll have a little bit of a different approach this week. Galucci has a really strong barn this year. His team does a great job. He does a great job. I think our filly's a really nice filly as well. I'd like to say we're going to go out there and win, but you know, we'll be happy with her no matter what.
All right, and there is a look at Gabby Sasso and Warwi Expat. Just moments away before getting ready for the post-parade of the Kin Pace, but we've got one race to go just before that. Mark, great to get a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at Gabby, a young trainer in the province, and neat to hear the story about how she got involved in the sport and has herself a pretty nice racing operation right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and I think we've probably told the stories time and time again of multiple generations in the sport, and that's how somebody gets introduced and goes on, but a different route to being here today for Gabby Sasso, and she's hoping to get to the winner's circle. She's done that quite a bit over the last few years. She's had some real talented performers, and Warwi Expat is certainly on her way there to being right up there, and Gabby mentioned it in the feature as well, the fact that she's never disappointed them in 12 career starts. She's always turned in a strong effort, and they're hoping today will be her biggest yet.
And yeah, the filly looks nice and calm and relaxed there, just getting her game face on. We'll see her later in that Kin Pace final. Want to welcome in some more viewers today. We got Mel Dennis tuning in from Bernardson, Massachusetts. Hi to Mel. And Dave Erickson tuning in today. Can't forget Dave down in Niagara Falls. Great to have everybody tuning in today. Don't forget, everybody that leaves us a comment, you're automatically entered for the draw for that Clinton Raceway prize package. Wonderful prize package. Includes 4 different clothing items. We will draw that winner at random from everybody who leaves a comment, and we'll announce that on our social media channels later. Again, congratulating our winner from our week-long contest, Sandy Henry. That was announced off the top of the show. Let's meet the field for the catch driver claiming series final. And the number 1 on the field, Little Bearcat, Mike Horner, does it all with this one. He owns, trains, and drives a daughter of Tigerama. Went winless last year, just 1 win in 15 this year. A little bit camera shy, but boy, wouldn't he be happy to see her pull the victory off today in this final.
These are the hard knockers of our sport in this claiming final, and here's a mare at age 5, Kiss It Better, that's already got over 22 starts this season. Trevor Henry driving for the Curs.
Number 3, Dolly Cat, Doug Curry, the owner-trainer, one of 2 that he sends out in this final today. This mare was a winner in round 2 action last week. Lorney House driving, looking for her 20th career win and on the verge of $100,000 in career earnings.
And here's another winner from last week in Black Creek Rosebud. Ryan DeRoche driving for owner-trainer Mark McCormick. That was the first win in 17 tries this year. We'll see if that can be parlayed into a second win for Black Creek Rosebud.
Brett McDonald, who won last year's Kin Pace, will be on board number 5, Kempenfeld, in this spot. One of the long shots, Leanne Davidson, the owner. The trainer is Daryl Laver.
Cassidy Schneider is going to send out a pair in this catch driver claiming series final. The first one is Zealous Sealster. 3 for 6 has been fantastic since returning to the races, this 9-year-old mare. Travis Henry does the driving.
The other Doug Curry pupil in this spot, 10-year-old mare Northern Belle. Just 2 wins in 23 this year, but 8 runner-up finishes. She's certainly a ticket consideration, even with the outside post.
And rounding out our field is Brydown Lilybet, going from the second tier. Another one from the Schneider barn. James McDonald will do the driving. This is one that's always right there. You go through the 26 starts this year, and 14 of those, this mare has finished in the top 3, so she's always in the hunt.
A couple of more people we want to say hi to online. We've got folks tuning in here. Shelley from Moline, Illinois, watching it today. Hart Duddy from West Virginia, who we've had online before. Big hi to Hart. We've got Mike Wilcox tuning in from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. And Mike, we hope we'll be in Ohio this year, Mark and I and Curtis and the gang, hopefully for the Little Brown Jug this year. It's been a couple of years since we've been able to get down there with the pandemic situation and everything, but That's on our bucket list for this year, no doubt.
I would guess there's going to be a strong group of Canadians down at the Jug this year, considering all the restrictions we've dealt with. The Jug was probably, for those in Ohio, a little more like normal last year, but those Canadians always make their presence felt in Delaware County for that Thursday afternoon in September.
We might need our own hospitality tent this year. We'll get working on that. Great to have everybody tuning in as always today. And I hope you're enjoying the coverage here from Clinton Raceway. Big shout out to our crew behind the scenes from Cujo Entertainment, providing the wonderful shots here today. Might even get the drone up in the air a little bit later. We're hoping for that. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. And we've got the Catch Driver Claiming Series Final. The bread and butter horses, the horses that week in and week out put the show on here at Clinton. And they get their moment in the spotlight here today. Again, a big thank you to Ryan Clements sponsoring this event this afternoon. Purse $8,000. I mean, it's not Pepsi NA Cup or Hambletonian levels, but for these connections, this would mean a lot.
Exactly that, and over this series, you go from racing for $4,000 to $6,000 here this week, a chance to go for $8,000, so double what the first leg was. And the nice thing about this, when you get down to the final, you had to earn your way into this situation. So we've got a field of 8, and all 8 have been racing really well, and I expect some good fireworks in this contest. I think everybody will be looking to get themselves in play here. There's not a whole lot of horses where I would expect them to head right to the back. There's only the inside 2, actually, in Little Bearcat and Kiss It Better, who seem to race from off the pace consistently. Everybody else is usually firing out of there, so that should make for an early scramble in this one.
And even toward the outside of the gate, Northern Belle, who I talked about, the fact that she's been in the top 3 so many times is her early gate speed. Often puts her in a good spot. And no one, I don't think anyone, in terms of our local drivers now, Mark, makes early speed any better than Tyler Borth. He can really blast off the wings. I fully expect that'll be the case here. And if she gets spotted early, I think a real top 3 consideration.
Exactly that, and it's not uncommon, like we said, to see those horses blast from the outside. You have to have that ability, and this mare does have it. So we'll see if Tyler Borth can really just time it perfect and let her charge out of there. Like I said, I just think there's going to be a lot of action early on in this one, and right now our even money favorite is the 2 Kiss It Better, which is a little intriguing to me. I know it was 5-2 morning line and certainly is one of the top contenders, but I think Trevor Henry might just be able to show his patience here in this spot, but that's usually the approach is, whoa, get a couple of them hooking wheels there for a brief moment right in front of the grandstand. So it looks like all good though, and I guess Northern Belle just wanted a little camera time before we get ready to go.
And speaking of Trevor Henry, his charge involved in that as well, 6-5. You mentioned the horse doesn't show any early speed. But one thing we've seen in the past, when Trevor Henry jumps up on a horse like this, they can find it in a hurry. If it's there, he will find it. Nobody better at that. So we'll see. But even if he chooses to race from off the pace, there should be some early speed to chase.
Yeah, I think so, and we'll see just how quick they maybe get down to that opening quarter. Realistically, you go back through the last few weeks, and these horses are all coming in around 59, 2 minutes. Something tells me they'll go maybe a second or 2 quicker here this afternoon.
All right, there's a final look at the odds. They're getting set to move into position here. Our starter, Brad Pittock, one of the best in the business, getting ready to pick them up for the Catch Driver Claiming Series Final. Once again, here's Tim O'Connor.
Donald, Zella Sealster, Travis Henry, Northern Belle, Tyler Borth, and from the second tier, Brydown Lilybet, James McDonald. They're falling in line for race number 9. It's post time. This field is now in motion, and here they come. They're off and pacing. Black Creek Rosebud with a rush will cross over and grab the early lead. Little Bearcat away quickly. That one will tuck into the 2-hole, 2 lengths off the lead now. Racing in third position. That is Kiss It Better. Kiss It Better sees it from third, fourth along the inside. That is Dally Cat. Racing in 5th position, Kempenfelt. Then we're back to Bry Down, Lilibet, the early trailer, Zella, Sealster, Northern Bell. 8 in the line, roll by that opening quarter in 29-1. Make that 28-1. 29-1. It is your front end leader, Black Creek Rosebud, continuing to show the way as they roll by the grandstand for the first time. Black Creek Rosebud in front, racing second, Little Bearcat out of third now, up and at it. Here comes Trevor Henry and Kiss It Better, followed to the outside by Dally Cat. Third over is Bry Down Lilibet, making ground along the inside, Kempenfelt, the half, 59-4. The one to catch is Black Creek Rosebud, leading by 2. Kiss It Better now advancing on the outside. Little Bearcat back to third, failing to keep pace in the pocket. 3 wide from the back of the bus. Here comes Bry Down Lilibet going up and around Dally Cat. Also coming on late, Northern Bell looks for a seam. It's still Black Creek Rosebud showing the way. Kiss It Better has moved into second position. Bry Down Lilibet is third. Late pace perhaps from Northern Bell after 3 quarters in 1:29 flat. Black Creek Rosebud since the go. Here comes Kiss It Better. Bry Down Lilibet's going to get into it as well. Down the lane they glow. Black Creek Rosebud trying to hang on. Black Creek Rosebud and Bry Down Lilibet. Once again, I hope that camera is working. What a finish here in race number 9.
So the early portions of race 9 didn't quite go like we thought they would, Mark. We knew Black Creek Rosebud would probably be supplying early speed. We thought others might go with her. And when she made an early lead, we thought she's going to be awfully tough to beat, but it ends up being very close. A good 3 across finish, an exciting one.
A very exciting finish here, and as Tim O'Connor mentioned, we're going to need the photo finish camera once again. I think it comes down to Black Creek Rosebud and Bry Down Lilibet. Kiss It Better. Trevor Henry was hoping to pop out there at the head of the lane and get on by, but she couldn't get past Black Creek Rosebud, and then coming onto the scene late was Bry Down Lilibet. A 3 across. Fantastic finish there. And you said it, there wasn't a whole lot of early action, and maybe that's one of those cases where everybody anticipates there's going to be, and then it just goes the complete opposite way when everyone expects everyone else to do what they're anticipating, and everyone just sort of sits back. Ryan DeRoche rated this mare nice, and if he holds on, that's a nice win for the young driver.
James McDonald was on the far outside. Earlier we saw a very close photo, and it went to the outside horse. But this time it sounds like he falls just short. Indeed it was. Number 4, Black Creek Rosebud, holding on by the slimmest of diminishing margins, 1:59 the win time. For owner-trainer Mark McCormick, who will be all smiles here, 1:59 the win time in this $8,000 final. So the winner is heading back to our Clinton Winners Enclosure. We'll take this time for another commercial timeout and be back with more in a moment.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
credit from first over, and Century Gianna has enjoyed the pocket trip. They're in the backstretch. Final time of the 2020 Kin Pace. High roller Duke McNair raised the whip in the air there to keep her going. Still going on the lead, tugging on credit. In the pocket, Century Gianna. Watch My Speed stalled second over from fourth. Preeminence made it back into the front five. Ahead of Fast and Relentless, Highland Salsa. Marzanne K. Hanover has never been in it. High Roller Duke. The earplugs out now by McNair. Coming to the top of the stretch. Watch My Speed. Flipping out off cover. They're all chasing, tugging on credit. Century Gianna to the inside and sweeping past them. Watch My Speed. Watch My Speed. And Jody Jameson will win it. Century Gianna safe second. Preeminence third. Fast and Relentless was fourth. And Hooking Wheels were tugging on credit. And High Roller Duke. Watch My Speed.
Win, and he got it done that year in the Kin Pace final with Watch My Speed. Ryan DeRoche gets it done here in the Catch Driver Claiming Series final for the owner-trainer Mark McCormick. They get the blanket presentation, and again, thank you to Ryan Clements of the Catch Driver game for sponsorship of the 9th race. That means we're just one race away from the main event this afternoon. That is the $50,500 Kin Pace final. Let's take a quick look at the field page. An excellent-looking field of 8. You've got that impressive two-horse entry here from Team Gallucci and Raptors 1 and Velvet Stinger, who were both elimination winners from a week ago. Warrawee Expat, we saw a nice feature on that one moments ago, who had that really solid runner-up finish last week and, took a run at the eventual winner in that race. Creme Delight was pretty good, too, and gets the benefit of post 1 here for today's final. Again, chasing a nice purse of just over $50,000. We talked about the sweep of the eliminations from a week ago. Let's take a look back now and see how things unfolded and what that set the stage for this afternoon's final. Is Ribbon Ridge. Here comes Warrawee Expat now getting into gear. She's suddenly up to second as the tempo picks up noticeably, going to 3/4, and Warrawee Expat on the outside, taking it right to Velvet Stinger in the 3rd quarter, moving up on good looking cover in 3rd. Watch Her Fly, trying to keep with that top trio's Ribbon Ridge far back to the trailer. Lions Believer. 3/4 and 1:30-1. Midway on the final turns, coming down to a sprint, and Warrawee Expat is giving Velvet Stinger everything she can handle here. Velvet Stinger's been headed. She's got to try and counter on the outside. Warrawee Expat. Velvet Stinger and Expat. Velvet Stinger on the inside battles back. Velvet Stinger to win. Warrawee Expat, very good second. Ribbon Ridge third. Watch Her Fly fourth. 1:58-1. To stay with her in second. Down at the inside, traveling third, that's Creme Delight. Brought wide in fourth was Power of an Angel, but yet to advance. Fifth along the inside and ground saving all the way has been Sexy Playmate. Raptors 1. Nobody close to her at this point. She stretches the lead now to 3/4, 1:26-2. 28-2 in the 3rd quarter, and Raptors 1 still out there by 2.5 coming to the top of the stretch. Racing second, Lions Princess, now swinging wide third. Here comes Creme Delight, and Creme Delight pulls out with authority and is moving up quickly. Will chase Raptors 1 to the end, but Raptors 1 had no anxious moments here. It's a slam dunk for Raptors 1. Raptors 1 wins it. Creme Delight, sharp rally for second. Finishing third was Lions Princess, and rallying for the final qualifying spot, Sexy Playmate. 1:56 the win time for Raptors 1. James McDonald, guiding both elimination winners, had to pick who he would drive in the final. Goes with post 5 starter Velvet Stinger. For driver Tyler Borth, he's coming off a career best season in 2021. He's continued right where he left off, and he's got a drive today in the Kin Pace final. Earlier today, Rob caught up with him for his thoughts with post 7 starter Ribbon Ridge.
All right, I'm here with Tyler Borth, who's going to be aboard number 7, Ribbon Ridge, in the final of the Kin Pace here today at Clinton Raceway. Before we get to that, Tyler, you set a career best for wins in 2019 with 151. We're only halfway through the year right now, and you've already matched that number with 151 victories. Tell me a little bit about what you attribute that success to.
Yeah, I don't know. I just obviously I'm getting more experienced. You know, I've been driving for probably 10 years, and when I got to London this year, I just kind of snowballed. I was winning 4, 5 a night some nights, and yeah, it's been going good. So.
All right, and no stranger to the winner's circle here at Clinton Raceway. Talk about what it's like to drive on a big day like today. Not just another day here at Clinton. It's the Kin Pace final day, and you're in that race. What's it like to compete against some of the guys too that come in from Mohawk Park?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough race for me, that race. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful day, and we got a good crowd, and obviously going for good money, so let's hope to make something happen.
And in that final, you've got Ribbon Ridge, who is an outsider both literally and figuratively from Post 7. Does, being a bit of a longer price in there take the pressure away?
Yeah, for sure. It's, I'm in a very tough spot, and like last week, I was able to go to the front, sit the 2-0 behind James, and those 2 leaders, the one that come first up, kind of paced away on me by 3 lengths. My horse still come home in 28-1, so obviously he's got a good closing kick. I just hope that, maybe they battle it out early or something happens, so it gives me a shot.
And you've got tons of experience on the half-mile surface. Post 7, a real difficult spot. Do you go into it with a game plan, or do you play it by feel?
We're going to play it by feel, I think.
All right, there you have it, Tyler Borth. Good luck in the Kin Pace final and the rest of the day, Tyler. Back to you guys.
So Tyler Borth, big opportunity for him, but I don't think he's going to feel a ton of pressure. I think he's just happy to be in it, will enjoy the moment. He'll be aboard a long shot here, and likely job one is to try and pick up some money. Anything beyond that will be kind of a bonus.
Exactly that, and obviously he's not going to tip his hand too much, but in this case, he really just has to wait and see how things shake out. I don't think this is going to be one of those cases where we see a horse just blasting from Post 7 in this spot, but should he be able to trip him out or trip this filly out, he might get a little piece of this person. As Tyler mentioned, going for $50,000, that's a nice chunk of change.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the 2 elimination winners from last week. Raptors 1, Velvet Stinger from the same barn. Your assessment of the 2, was one more impressive than the other, and maybe your thoughts on James picking Velvet Stinger?
Well, that's where I was waiting to see where would he go of the 2 elimination winners, and you wait and see how the draw shakes out. And in a case like this, one gets Post 2, one gets Post 5. I think him tipping his hand by going with Velvet Stinger probably indicates which one he thinks maybe is the more talented of the 2, but I didn't think a whole lot really separates them. Both turned in really good efforts. Raptors 1's just a really intriguing filly to me. She didn't race last year as a 2-year-old. She comes in this season, and she's had a real nice go, and Nick Galucci just keeps the ball rolling, and he gets a real nice pickup in the case here of Louis-Philippe Roy. Talk about a pretty good 1B option in this situation when James decided to go with Velvet Stinger. But really, I don't think a whole lot separates the pair of them.
And a perfect example of, time really doesn't mean that much, because Raptors 1 in winning last week was 2 full seconds faster than Velvet Stinger, but James nonetheless opts to go with that filly. So really, I think you had to look at the body language. Velvet Stinger did face a pretty stiff challenge in the 3rd quarter of the race, but responded and won pretty convincingly when all was said and done.
Definitely did, and that's the thing. Body language will tell you a lot, and like you said, time really doesn't matter. It only matters in jail, right? So in this case, I don't think there was too much to read into that. We saw that the pressure in the trip that Warwi Expat went, and I think that one, rightfully so, sitting around 5-1 right now, is your 3rd choice. Not surprised to see that off that effort. And here's one I think Brett McDonald really, you talk about young drivers in situations like this wanting to step up. I think Tyler Borth will be happy just maybe to get a check with his filly. I think Brett McDonald really wants to get this one, and no stranger to this race.
Yeah, he won it last year with Salzburg Olympia. And we talked about that last year prior to the race. We wondered how a young guy like Brett in a big race like that, a big moment for him at that time, would respond, and he tripped the mare out perfectly. So we know that he will not shy away from the big stage, and he's got a good post to work with. He's right in between the 2 Galucci starters, so it'll really be imperative that he work out the right kind of a trip. What type of trip circumstance do you think it's going to take to potentially upend the probable favorites?
Yeah, that's the thing. Who's going to maybe shake things up? Is somebody going to take a bid for that lead early on and then expect James or Louis to be moving as they straighten out into the backside? If that's the case, and they're getting to the lead not till about the quarter. Somebody might be first up right away. Really, it's going to need some good tempo up front, I think, to knock off one of the two elimination winners in this case, and I'm just not sure where that's going to come from to make things as wild as we would like to see from a thrilling standpoint.
While we have a moment, let's go back to our trivia question. This is the one that we posed to you earlier today. Which driver competing in the Kin Pace today leads the current driver standings here? Well, the answer is none other than Travis Henry. And our folks watching online were all over it. I think everyone had the correct answer here. He'll be on board Watch Her Fly as the horses and drivers make their way from the paddock location for the $50,500 final of this year's Kin Pace. Look there at Louis-Philippe Bois with James opting off. Raptors 1, he picks up a very live drive. She is 9-5 currently. Next one out will be Warrawee Expat. Nice to hear from Gabby Sasso. Learned her early lessons from Bob McIntosh. Not a bad guy to start your early training with.
No doubt about that. You get the wisdom and the horsemanship skills of Bob McIntosh, very notable.
All right, we're going to Rob Reed now with Nick Gallucci live.
All right, here with Nick Gallucci walking out to the track. He's watching his two horses that are going to be the two favorites in this race, Raptors 1 and Velvet Stinger. Firstly, Raptors 1 won 2 in a row over the half-mile surface. Is that her preferred surface, the half-mile track?
I wouldn't say so. I just say we had her on her toes for those two races, but she trains in a half, so I think she's comfortable anywhere.
Okay, and Velvet Stinger, I mean, to say that she hasn't been poetry in motion at times might be an understatement, but she seemed a lot better in her last time, real solid winner, really unasked at any point by James McDonald. What did you think about her, and really, what was the progression for her to get that smooth?
It's funny you say that. I actually made a shoeing change after London. She was getting into her inside knee a little bit, so I don't have to announce a change going from track to track, so I put aluminum shoes on her up front, and it seemed to really get her off her knee, and I think that would be the big change that we've seen in our last two races.
All right, I should give you my number next time for that one. And also, I mean, James takes Velvet Stinger of the two. Is that something that you guys talk about, or do you just let him make his own decision?
I let him make his own decision. He was really happy with her last week. Basically, like you said, pretty well unasked the whole way until the stretch, and she really turned it on down the lane, and he thought that she was the stronger of the two finishing. Personally, I was expecting him to take Raptors 1, but he knows better than I do likely, so we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, you're the trainer, Nick, so I got to ask you now. So does that mean if you had to choose between one of the two right now, it'd be Raptors 1?
Personally, I would, just because, like we were just saying, she's a little bit handier, but either filly, they're both really nice filly. I'd say Velvet Stinger has more of a desire to win. Raptors 1 just seems like she's just so capable and so handy.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Nick Gallucci's going to have two of the favorites going out here in the final of the Kin Pace. Good luck, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Thank you to Rob and Nick Gallucci for some last-minute words. Very interesting to hear his thoughts on the horse that James picked. We would have assumed that Gallucci and James would have conferred on this, and maybe both were in agreement, but it doesn't sound like that was the case.
No, not the case, at least with those comments. Very candid, and those are great comments to get. Some people give us the cliche answer. Nick Gallucci just tells you what he's feeling and like it is, and he's had a fantastic run along with Millard Farms over the last year and a half and continues this season as they look to maybe go 1-2 here in this Kin Pace final, but not too often I think you'll catch a trainer telling you which one they prefer over the other, but that was the case here, and it might speak volumes to what we could see in this contest.
And a look at what Gallucci did last year for the Miller Farms, dream season to say the least. James McDonald doing most of the driving, kind of the benefactor of all of that as well, and culminated with a pair of O'Brien Award winners from last year. Better Have My Money, 2-year-old Colt Pacer of the Year, and the pacing filly Counterbart, the Great Prohibition Legal. He's got a solid 1-2 punch here in the field as we get set to go postward. There's a look at Travis Henry. We talked about him being the leading driver here currently. Got a long shot here in number 6, Watch Her Fly. This is a homebred. A full sister to Night Watchman, a good one that was campaigned by the connections, which include Nurko Sokolovic and Craig Bars, who also does the training. Night Watchman made $140,000, took a mark of 51-1. The unfortunate thing for him, Mark, was the crop that he had to face. He was third to Tall Dark Stranger as a rookie in a gold final. And then at 3, had to step up and race the likes of Beaumont, Hanover, and Tattoo Artists. So how much money could he have had in any other year?
It's just one of those seasons, right, where you just kind of end up against the heavy hitters, and some years are down years, some years star-studded crops, like that was the case. But Night Watchman, nice performer, and of course these connections. Craig Bars won this race back in 2020 with Watch My Speed. We saw that replay a little bit earlier in the broadcast, so hoping that he can repeat that magic, as things really worked out on that day to his advantage, as things got a little dicey coming out of the last turn, and he was able to benefit. We'll see if maybe things play out that way here in this upcoming Kin Pace final.
And it's nice here. We're getting a look at both fillies here from the Gallucci barn. There's a look at the 2 Raptors won. Moments ago, we saw Velvet Stinger. And what you notice is the difference in stature. Raptors 1 is a very big, tall filly. Velvet Stinger on the smaller, a little bit more compact side. And I thought that might have been part of why James went to Velvet Stinger, feeling she might be just a little bit handier, a little more push button perhaps on the half-mile oval. But again, hearing from Nick Gallucci, wasn't necessarily what he was thinking.
No, it wasn't. And Louis Waugh picks up the drive behind Raptors 1. He'd actually driven Velvet Stinger in the past, so I guess Louis was just going to wait and see which one he's going to be handed the lines to, and then he's got a real good shot here with Raptors 1. But you mentioned about Gallucci having that success with Prohibition Legal, Silver Label as well. Mix in these fillies, who I think are just going to have a great season in the Grassroots. Wow, what a 4-pack of pacing fillies to have all in the same year, who are just likely going to devour and eat up that OSS money as the year goes on.
The number 1, Creme Delight, is getting some attention, 8-1. I believe someone online picked this one here a moment ago. Name escapes me here right now, but I believe I saw that in our comment section, calling Creme Delight for the potential upset. She's a daughter of Better's Delight. Jay Harris will drive for trainer Marie Breather. There's another one of those maybe unheralded trainers, but a great horseman, highly respected here in the province. Had a winner last night at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and his barn's been kind of heating up again this year. And this filly's got some pedigree potential as well. But Breather, we talked about his career stats, just kind of quietly, 1,500 training wins as a trainer, 17 million of purses, and this is the profile of a horse that could surprise from post 1.
Yeah, you wouldn't be shocked. You're right. And again, benefit of the draw, gets the rail, has shown flashes of some real good ability. 1 for 8 this season after going 1 for 10 last year. So it would be a bit of a surprise. But again, from this barn, you wouldn't be shocked. And we'll see if Creme Delight can make something happen from the rail.
All right, time to give our selections. You know what? I'm going to put faith in the trainer, Nick Gallucci, and Louis-Philippe Waugh, very capable replacement in the driver's seat. So I'll give Raptors 1, the daughter of Big Jim, top call from post 2. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Warwi Expat. Let's try and beat the Gallucci tag team. And Warwi Expat, we talked about the gritty effort last week, battled strong, gets a second place finish. Brett McDonald trying to double up. So I'll go with Warwi Expat.
The main event of the racing season at Clinton Raceway, the Kin Pace. Once again, Tim O'Connor with your race call.
Watch Her Fly, Travis Henry, Ribbon Ridge, Tyler Borth, Sexy Playmate, Trevor Henry. Who will win the Kin? It's post time. This field is now in motion, and here they come. They're off and pacing with a dash from the lead. Raptors 1 along the inside. Also firing early was Creme Delight. Into third position goes Warwi Expat around that far turn. Now up to take over fourth is Velvet Stinger. Fifth along the inside. That is Lion's Princess. Then we're back to Sexy Playmate. Watch Her Fly, Ribbon Ridge, 8 in a line now as they roll to the opening quarter. Louis-Philippe Waugh has Raptors 1 on the engine here. They reach that marker, 27-2. The tempo is on us. Pocket sitting second is Creme Delight. Racing in third, Warwi Expat. Velvet Stinger sees it from 4th. 5th is Lions Princess. Then we're back to Sexy Playmate, Watch Her Fly, Ribbon Ridge. No change in positions. Raptors 1 looking strong on the engine here. Roll by the half. 55-4. They're flying around the Huron County Oval in the Kin Pace final. Raptors 1 shows the way. Racing second is Creme de Light. Here comes Warrawee Expat up and at it, followed to the outside by Velvet Stinger. Those 4 with a little separation as they roll to the 3/4. Raptors 1, half a length to the good. Warrawee Expat is second. They're once around the track and they're halfway back. Zoom! 124-4. Warrawee Expat puts a head in front. Here comes Velvet Stinger on the outside as Raptors 1 has surrendered. Velvet Stinger takes the lead. Creme de Light is coming on late. This one belongs to Velvet Stinger.
Highly entertaining edition of the Kin Pace, and it was the stablemates doing a lot of the early work. Raptors 1 setting the table for Velvet Stinger, who came on late and really the benefactor of the perfect trip scenario, and the result a stakes record equaling clocking of 154-3.
Matches Write Me a Song's record from 2018, but that is cooking here on this Sunday afternoon in Clinton, and Raptors 1. Did she ever do the heavy lifting? And James McDonald, we were commenting here from our broadcast location as they were racing to 3/4. He just had to be licking his chops. He was just being patient, and Velvet Stinger is able to capitalize, sitting back, watching those torrid fractions, and comes through. So we talked, was it going to be the driver or the trainer that was maybe going to be right about one of the two? I'll tell you right now, I don't think Nick Galucci is probably too upset either way. He got the win, and it is Velvet Stinger, the Bettor's Delight filly, that comes through.
Yeah, and Raptors 1, I'm sure Louis Philippois, was hoping to rate the speed a little bit better, but, big filly, and he got her fired up early, and I just don't think she really settled and kind of rolled along, so it really set the table beautifully for Velvet Stinger. Full marks to Warrawee Expat, another gritty first over effort, real honest filly, this daughter of sports writer. And Creme de Light made things interesting turning for home. Jay Harris had a lot of horse, had to angle her really wide, and that probably cost him, if not the win, certainly second.
I would agree with that, and as it worked out, he ended up being able to sit in a nice spot as those hot fractions were being set, and then it was just going to be a case of what kind of daylight when they came off that turn, and like you said, was out pretty wide and going to end up finishing third, but gets a good piece of this $50,000 purse.
The race started back in 2008, the fastest clocking prior to today, 154-3. Write Me a Song from 2018, that one trained by Jack Darling, and he knows a thing or two about record speed. Of course, Bulldog Hanover equaling the all-time world record last night in 146. So his Write Me a Song has her record equaled today by Velvet Stinger, the 2022 champion. And the beat goes on for James McDonald. And, when you're winning O'Brien Awards, a lot of it has to do with how you drive them in these big races, and the trips you are able to work out. They don't come any better than this one this afternoon.
Exactly that, and when you're hot, and things just continue to go your way. That's the case for James McDonald, and what a trio this has been. George Millar's Millar Farms, along with Nick Galucci and James McDonald, and they just continue to rack up the victories. And like I said, what a group of three-year-old pacing fillies they've got here in the province this season.
Yeah, another big year for the entire operation. And there's Griffin enjoying a big day as well. Had a chance to see his dad win a couple of races today, including the main event. There's Paige Austin, James's significant other, who had her training debut today at a grassroots event. The horse raced very well, so a big day all around for the operation. And for our owner, George Miller, we documented last year the various serious health issues that he had about a year and a half ago, and overcoming that, and then to see his stable do what they did last year and continue it on this season. it's really, really nice to see for him.
It is, and it's great to see him having that success. And we talk about, usually you get back what you put into the game, and that's exactly what's happened for George Millar. In this case, he's been breeding his mares to some real top-end stallions. In the case, this is a Bettor's Delight filly. And again, like I said, when you put that kind of money into the game, you want to see somebody reap the rewards, and that's been the case.
All right, so we're looks like we're just about to head over there in a moment. Rob Reed getting set to join winning driver James McDonald, son Griffin, who we said earlier won the Kindness Award for his, I believe it was kindergarten. So congratulations to both of the McDonalds today. Big day, lots to celebrate for them. So let's end it over trackside. Rob standing by with both winning driver James McDonald, winning trainer Nick Gallucci.
Cents. Let's take it downstairs. Here's Robert Reed Jr. with our winning driver, Mr. James McDonald.
All right, in the winner's circle with James McDonald, winning driver of the Kin Pace 2022 aboard Velvet Stinger. And, I got to ask you first, I know I had spoke to Nick before the race, and he even said he was surprised that you went with this one over Raptors 1. You talk a little bit about that decision first.
Yeah, last week she was just so strong. She finished... I never really asked her. She'd never cut a race before. In the last 8th, I kicked the plugs, and she was just pacing out of her harness. So, I like Raptor, and it was obviously a tough decision. But Velvet's been so brave coming in, and Nick's got her firing on all cylinders. So, I was happy to drive her.
All right, and we've got Griffin with us here today. Griffin, do you like watching Dad win races?
Yes.
Right, there you have it. Griffin likes watching you win. And you know what, James, it feels like, every time I meet you in the winner's circle, you're adding another trophy, right, to your trophy case. And what's it like to put this one in the record books now, a Kin Pace victory?
Well, fun fact, you don't get many of the trophies. I would like to have a trophy case with the Minute, but I don't think there'd be a Kin Pace trophy for the driver. But no, it's great. Anytime you can win signature races, you see a good crowd like this tonight and all the kids here cheering everyone on, it's special. So, it's fun. Anytime you can win a big race is great, and now I got the Kin Pace off my bucket list and can move on.
All right, we got to get James a trophy, though, for the Kin Pace. And just real quick, I'm going to bring Nick in next. The relationship you guys have is incredible. You, Nick, and Millar Farms, just talk a little bit about that. Relationships are so important in harness racing. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's important just to kind of be on the same page, and, for the most part, Nick and I and George, we all have kind of the same mentality when it comes to horses. I'm sure sometimes they'd like to strangle me the way I drive them, but for the most part, they know I'm trying to do my best out there and take care of their horses and, get them to spots like this where they can win these races. It means a lot, and it's always great having great people in your corner. Nick's doing a great job training these horses. George is the easiest owner in the world to drive for. They never give me a hard time, and, that makes my job a lot easier.
Well, thanks, James. Congratulations again. Congrats, Griffin. Thanks for coming out today, buddy. Let's bring in Nick Gallucci now, winning trainer, Velvet Stinger. So we talked before the race. You said you made a shoeing change on this one. It wasn't the prettiest going horse, a few starts early on, especially at Western Fair. Still won that race. Yeah. But what was the shoeing change that you made again?
I switched her from steel to aluminum just to try to get her gait a little bit lower. So she was interfering, bringing her right front foot into her left knee. Now it seems like she's starting to go underneath the knee, which is very beneficial for her gait and ability to carry speed throughout the mile.
And she seems like she's got some real wicked gears, like that race at Western Fair, it seemed like she had no chance at any point, still won today. Obviously a nice trip, but kicked on nicely to tie the track record here. What do you think the ceiling might be for this horse?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The ceiling, where do you think she ends up?
So far this year, it's been actually a really nice surprise. We were even questioning if we were going to race her this year or not, just because, like you were saying, her gait was so bad before. But right now, she seems like she's changed the gears really well, and that's what you need to do when you have a pacer. And we'll see. I mean, the next Golds at Grand River, 54 here, should get her competitive there. But we'll play it by ear and see how she seems going into that.
And what about, Raptors 1, still a decent enough effort to finish 4th today. Were you happy with that performance?
Well, not necessarily. She looked like she was pretty grabby on the front. Hopefully we can get her to settle a little bit more for her next race. You're not going to win too many races if you get over the half in 55. So we'll see how she seems after the race and go from there.
All right. Is there anything we can look forward to? Any babies coming up that we can tell the people at home to watch for?
I'm going to qualify on Saturday, pacing filly, Save the Last Dance. She's Silver Label's full sister. I'm pretty excited about her.
All right, thanks, Nick. Congratulations again. Nick Gallucci, winning trainer, Velvet Stinger of the Kin Pace 2022. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Rob Reed Jr. catching up with the winning connections. James McDonald, Nick Gallucci. Velvet Stinger gets it done. $3.40. So the betting public had it right. Warrawee Expat, Creme Delight round out your top three. That dollar pick for a return at just over $200. And a high five, almost $280 for that $1 ticket. So the 2022 Kin Pace in the books, stakes record equaling performance by Velvet Stinger. Time for one more commercial break. We'll be back to wrap things up from Clinton Raceway.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out HPIBet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
We're back trackside at Clinton Raceway, putting the finishing touches on Kin Pace Day 2022. Very entertaining day of racing, Mark. And how nice must it be to be Nick Gallucci when you win the Kin Pace? You've got two in the final, and they're your third and fourth stringers in the barn.
Yeah, I mean, talk about just being loaded for bear, and that's the case for Nick Gallucci and Millar Farms. And you got those fillies, and like I said, they're going to make a ton of money in the OSS at both levels. You got the gold fillies in the case of Prohibition Legal and Silver Label, the Grassroots. I think Velvet Stinger is really set now just to continue this momentum going forward, and she'll likely be a player all season long. So he's going to have a real fun year with these pacing fillies. And as Robert Reed touched on when he asked him about some babies he's looking forward to, how about a full sister to Silver Label? If she's half as good as her sister, she's going to be pretty nice as well.
And that's what happens, right? Homebreds, when you get a broodmare band like George Millar has developed over the years, that production line can just keep going and going. And, you know, for fans of the sport like us, let's hope that is the case. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage here today. So glad to have you joining us. Stay tuned on our social channels. We'll announce the winner of our giveaway contest today. Here's a look at what is coming up a little bit later on this month. We'll be at Hanover Raceway, as mentioned. Looking forward to this one. Always a great night. Dream of Glory night. And then back just a couple of days later with this year's edition of the Battle of Waterloo, part of the Industry Day program. Always one to circle on your calendar from Grand River Raceway. Up the highway to Georgian Downs later in August. And then things really hit high gear in September and October at Woodbine, Mohawk Park. We've got the Women's Driving Challenge Final thrown in there in October as well, when racing returns to the Raceway at Western Fair in London. So plenty of coverage to come throughout the summer here on COSA-TV. We look forward to seeing you next time. From all of us here at Clinton Raceway, so long and enjoy the rest of your Canada Day weekend.